How cute.
Oh, that's Sylvie. Welcome to Reconnection. As we continue to observe Homocystinuria Awareness Month, I'm honored to share the story of Denise and her daughter Rileigh, who are diagnosed with who was diagnosed with classical homocystinuria through newborn screening. Just days after her birth, today, Denise takes us through their journey navigating an overwhelming diagnosis, managing Rileigh's low protein diet and balancing the complexities of daily life while ensuring that Rileigh thrives. Notes. While we share a personal consult with your own healthcare provider before for two. Please keep holding. Will touch. This is an advocacy thing, and so it does end up being political by nature. Today, and let's dive in to Rileigh's inspiring story. So the call Rileigh's abnormal newborn screening test results. How did your families process that information?
When I got the call, they originally called me that from the hospital. We were home maybe less than a week from the hospital, and they said that her test came back abnormal, and sometimes that's normal, so we had to go back in and have them retested. Once they retested, her pediatrician called me and confirmed that it was still abnormal and that we needed to go to Nationwide Children's Hospital. I did probably the worst thing ever. I went to the internet, which was really a scary place to go to first. So I was a ball of emotions when I got that call. I'm having a little bit of. Are you there? Okay.
Yes,
I think there's like a little lag or something. So yeah, once we got to Nationwide, I was a ball of emotions, and her genetic doctor assured me that everything was going to be fine as long as I listened to everything he needed to tell me about, and as long as I did everything that he suggested. And so all I can say is a ball of nerves, and the not really knowing, it's the unknown for us. It was really hard.
What was the hardest part for
the hardest part for us was probably I didn't breastfeed, which was good, and we ended up having to do a mix of formula and her Homonex. I think having to make sure to count everything, and where she was on like a strict feeding schedule, I think we just felt like, are we doing this right? I think that was the hardest, was getting used to counting everything, counting her protein, and mixing her formulas just right. And just not knowing how things are going to be. And I think in the beginning they didn't know. I guess some patients are B6, like they can take B6. We had to go through that, like if the B6 would help her, or if she had to take the betaine as well. So I think the hardest part was going through all of the different testing and trying to figure out what worked for Rileigh in that first month.
Mm-hmm. So
No, she wasn't. Say that again.
Respond.
No.
Is she B6?
I'm gonna try to switch off.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Is that counterintuitive?
Say that again.
Non-protein with a protein.
I know. I was really it was crazy because I didn't quite understand a lot of that, because she couldn't have protein, but then she needed so much protein for growth and development. And then that's when we would have to put her betaine in her formula to help, I guess, for her body to get rid of extra methionine that she couldn't have.
And if you want to explain the medical formula here. Protein shake that we take, the amino acids, except for the one that we can't have, which is methionine. And because methionine is the one that is a problem for us. It causes people, it changes the system and builds up in our system, eventually causes strokes, heart attacks. And
yes.
Let's see. You mentioned that included specialized. So this is where we're getting into the formula. Okay. Specialized formula and vitamins. With a newborn.
Can you repeat that? You cut out a little bit.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Included a specialized formula and vitamins, including especially with a newborn at home.
How did I deal with a lot of that stuff at home? We created a chart on our wall in our kitchen, and we as she grew, we would have to keep up with the amount of formula that she would need daily. And so it was always changing. So the way for my husband and I to be able to keep up with what she is drinking and when she would be drinking next, we created a chart for morning, afternoon, night, things like that, just to kind of help keep on schedule. Because I also worked. I went to work when she was 6 weeks old, and I had my grandmother and his mom babysat for us. And so we would just keep everything scheduled, and they would know. And I would pre-mix her bottles. That way they knew exactly how much to give her. Everything was always pre-mixed and ready in the refrigerator with her vitamins in the formula and her medication already in the formula.
So, how have you managed her diet as she grows? That have been keeping track of her low protein diet.
When she started eating food, she was allowed 9 grams of protein from food. And again, we have a chart that we follow, and we mark it all the way up to 9 grams. And so we look at all of the ingredients on the back, how many proteins are in everything that she eats. We've measured everything out. We would chart, like if she had something that was 2 grams, we had a little magnet and we would put it up to the 2 grams so that we would know, okay, she is allowed 7 more during the day. So the chart system really works for us, especially where, say my husband is home with her, or by the time I get up for work in the evening, we can see during the day how much she's already eaten, and then we know what she's got left. The chart system is the best, is. And she's still only allowed 9 grams up to this day daily from food.
Rileigh seems to be very active and happy. Seems to be a very active and happy child. And well, tumbling and dancing and swimming.
Do you mean, you cut out just a little bit? How do we
Sorry?
continue with her diet, with her activities?
Right. You have okay, so I kind of moved on to a different topic now, I think. This is into her daily life now that we moved through that pretty quickly. But because it's talking about right now. It seems to be very active, and as most children are. So what I'm asking you is that you mentioned that. Oh, because here we go. You mentioned in the child. How have you managed her disorder
with her? So currently, she is in school, and she has extracurriculars afterwards. So the one we manage her diet. She has to drink 16 ounces of formula daily, and to make sure that she gets enough energy throughout the day, because as you know, most of her nutrition comes from the formula. Fat, calories, and the right type of protein that she can have. So she will drink about we split it up 3 times a day. So she'll drink formula in the morning before school. And then she will have breakfast here at home so that we know how much she's getting. And we pack her lunch for school. And then she will also have about 2:00 in the afternoon, more of her formula, just to try to, keep her energy up. And then we pick her up from school. Typically she has a snack, and then we're off to her activities, whether it be tumbling, or right now she's in cheer. And then plenty of fluids. And then in the evening she'll have dinner, and then she will have her formula again. I feel like for an active child, it's very important that formula, and splitting it up 3 times a day has been very helpful for her and for us. And that's how we manage her diet. Also, we advocate for her. So most all parents, the school knows very well about Rileigh's condition and her diet restrictions. Most of her food, everything goes through me first. Most of the parents always know to ask me if Rileigh can have something. Also, Rileigh is learning about her condition, and she can advocate for herself. She knows the things that she can have and the things that she can't have. And if she is approached with something, she knows to always ask me, or an adult that knows her condition, before eating anything. So really, it's kind of one of those things when you're raising a child, you need the whole community to kind of come together. And I feel like in the small community that I'm in, a lot of people are aware of her condition, and we all just kind of work together to help her flourish and succeed. Meanwhile, sticking to her diet and her formula has been the key. I feel like I didn't hear you. We're freezing up. So she really likes cookie butter. She loves cookie butter. So we'll typically do like gluten-free bread. Um, and we will use cookie butter instead of peanut butter. Um, and she loves those. Sometimes she'll do that with jelly. We send fruit. She loves apples, bananas. Um, we'll do carrot sticks and ranch. We really try to stick to a lot of zero protein items, or just like very low protein items. She also loves quesadillas, so I'll do quesadilla with the dairy-free cheese. We like to use. She loves coconut. It's the dairy-free cheese made with coconut milk, because we feel that tends to be the lowest protein items that we find for her. So things like that. But I will say she loves cookie butter.
So, yeah.
She'll dip apples in that.
Cookie butter.
Yeah. Lots of fruit and vegetables.
Yeah. But I know Amber gives it's hummus, it's cauliflower hummus. And
Oh, hey, I haven't seen that. Cauliflower hummus. Okay.
I found out you can add sauce cookie butter and
Oh,
sesame
that
oil.
sounds like a good idea. Yeah.
And so it's just those two things.
Right. Yeah, we definitely do a lot of like stir
And
fries, things like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if you have access to the medical foods too, you could use the peanut butter too.
Yeah. Yeah, we do Cambrooks. We like their pastas. She definitely likes pasta marinara sauce. We do the Cambrooks pasta.
Yeah, some people are having a hard time getting a hold of.
Are they? I usually buy in bulk so that we have them in store. Yeah. Another thing that we use a lot of, like, Rileigh loves tacos, and I've learned to take cauliflower rice and saute cauliflower rice and add taco seasoning to it. She
Mhm.
loves ranch and her dairy-free cheese, and that's her tacos, and she loves that.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a very low protein item, especially with the growing kids, because we'll do a lot of like, we'll use the rice and taco seasoning, and she likes taco salad. Um, Anything like that, she loves. And it's filling, because that's the thing is like you always trying to find stuff that's gonna fill them up.
you don't cauliflower just not very
Yeah,
filling.
exactly.
That's the potatoes in me, but let's
Another
see.
good thing that she likes, I don't know if you like it, is spaghetti squash. She loves spaghetti squash.
Mhm. So I am starting to get into some of the different squashes now, and I
Uh-huh.
recently picked, um, I occasionally will get into the squashes, but
Yeah.
um, with
Can you repeat the first part of that?
no, I lost you completely. Joy. And I've never had the problem on the other person. Okay.
Yeah.
I lost for a second. And let's see. So I don't ever see it. So
Are there any particular it keeps freezing up on my end.
extracurricular activities to do her medical condition.
Um at school she does. Do you mean like what they do for her at school?
Like I know with some schools they have like get like times when they're giving out things to other kids and.
Okay, yeah. So she has a bright yellow folder in her classroom that talks about her condition, and she gets sent down to the nurse for any food related things because they will call me if there's been any snacks or cupcakes, like when kids have birthdays and things like that. Lots of times I have found that depending on the cupcake, as long as I know ahead of time that they're going to do that, I can usually count that into her grams. But the schools these days, they don't usually let any outside things come in. Typically, it has to be like fruit, vegetables, things like that. They're not allowed to bring pizza because we do have more children that have dietary needs, whether it may be, something similar to Rileigh or if they have allergies. So the schools these days are pretty strict on what's coming in. When she started kindergarten last year, we would do snack time, and I always brought her food. And there's a lot of things out there that are similar. We try to stick to gluten-free because it's typically lower in protein. So we typically always bring her snacks so that she doesn't ever feel left out. But she has to go to the nurse for a lot of, things to basically for it to go through me.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I'm considering because we had a little struggle in first grade this year with the teacher not really understanding. And I was very stressed about it. And I was in conversations with the principal on how strict that this diet for her is. I'm actually considering trying to get her on a 504 plan because of her diet. That way it'll follow her all through school.
Mm-hmm. Are you checked into the?
So we were just up in Nationwide. Yeah, we were
Sorry,
up at Nationwide Children's Hospital, and they talked to us about it. And Nationwide is trying to be a facility where some of these trials could take place. But as of right now, they're not. And her doctor said that they're 12 years and up is the age required for these. So Rileigh's still too young for that. But it sounded pretty exciting, some of the things that he was telling me about. Yeah. Maybe by the time she's a teenager.
No,
Yeah.
I'm right. It's but in fact, I just became unblinded, and so it's that they're gonna start teaching me how to self-inject pretty soon.
Oh,
And
that's exciting. That's
yeah,
exciting.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I definitely left there happy because like I said, she just had her annual checkup on the 30th of September, and they were telling us that it's looking good. So
Good. So I think it's probably going to go to market, but it's just if they're running it through children's through the child phase, it's looking pretty good.
yeah, yeah.
I do notice that there's for some reason they're making us all take allergy medication.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't know. With Mia, it's causing itching a lot,
Oh,
and so you get kind of like a kind of feeling, but it's
yeah.
not major. It's just an injection site, so it's not really bad.
So it's not all over. It's just a
No,
localized area.
yeah, just in the localized area where they're doing the injection.
Gotcha.
Um, see, how let's see. Got a little off topic there. How has your support network whether it be medical professionals, family, or online communities, helped you navigate navigate life with HCU?
Honestly, in the very beginning, I was a nervous wreck, and her Nationwide Children's Hospital has been fabulous for us. I was in direct contact with her nutritionist, who I talked to a lot. So I will say I had great support through the genetics department Nationwide. Also, I ended up finding you guys. I found, I mean, she's 6 years old, so I've really learned a lot from your site. Also, I think you pronounce her name Danae.
Danae.
Um, yeah, she's been a great support. I feel like the support groups on Facebook have been fabulous. I've really, you know, been able to watch or read a lot of people's stories. It's scary as a new parent when you find out that your child has this condition and it's the unknown. So it's been nice getting to see some of these kids grow up and how they're doing. It's nice to see adults with this condition and how they're thriving with it. And it's really honestly the support groups and having a good Nationwide Children's Hospital has been great. I feel like my family's been supportive too, a lot. What advice? The advice that I would give was would be exactly what my doctor said. I know it's overwhelming in the beginning. Our life now with Rileigh, it's normal. We have learned how to count everything. So 6 years into it, it's so normal, and it's just like we just know what to do. But in the very beginning, just listen to your doctors and the healthcare, and just do exactly what they say. Um, and everything's going to work out fine. Everything is going to be fine. And I know that it's very, very overwhelming in the beginning. But it does. You get so used to it, and it's just becomes your normal. Um, and like I said, now it's even Rileigh at 6. She knows about her condition. So just be patient, breathe in, and just listen to the medical. Also, definitely join these support groups. I feel like you guys were probably one of the best things for me too. So, but I suggest the support groups are great, and reaching out to anyone that may have good advice also, because it's what I did.
So, um, starting kindergarten. Uh, Not this is like a year ago when I
Yeah.
found this off of Facebook. A new chapter, and I don't know whether this has her.
Her school has been very, very good about her needs. Starting kindergarten, her teacher was wonderful. We texted each other often about Rileigh daily, about her diet, and how important it was for me to know um, uh, what, if anything, was ever given to her. That the communication had to go through me. In kindergarten they have snack time. They eat breakfast in the room. So it was very important for the school to know that she didn't get to have free range to the foods that the other kids got to have. But I wanted Rileigh to feel you know, I didn't want her to be left out. So I always made sure to send things. And there was times at school, if there was like apples or like applesauce, things like that, that I knew were like zero protein items, her teacher would text me, is it okay if Rileigh has an apple here? Or is it okay if Rileigh has applesauce? Or is it okay if she has a juice? And I would typically let Rileigh do those things because I knew that it was okay. But it was just really building that confidence between the teacher and me. And I still have that relationship now in first grade with the teacher and the nurse and the principal. I mean, even the cafeteria workers are aware of Rileigh's, because there are times that she can have tray lunch. Typically, if it's like green beans, mashed potatoes, or like a fruit, they just know Rileigh is not allowed to have the entree, with whatever it is. Sometimes that I will allow her the extra fruit if she's still hungry. But again, that's communication that I have with the nurse. And the nurse is always with her in the lunch line to make sure that she's not given anything that she's not allowed to have.
Mm. Hopes for Rileigh in terms of health and her personal foot goals.
Her personal goals, is that what you said?
For see, where would go back?
Her personal goals in school.
Both is going back to the question again here. What are your hopes for Rileigh's future?
Okay, her future.
Both in terms of her health and her personal goals.
Okay. So my hopes for the future is like what we were talking about earlier with the treatment options. Hoping that in the future she can be more relaxed with her diet. Hoping that that comes out, well in the end for her. Also, I'd like to see her succeed. I want her to continue her education and go to college, have a good career, have a family of her choosing. I would really like to see her be able to live a successful, healthy, normal lifestyle, is what I would love for her. Whatever that may look like in the future as far as treatment goes. I'd just like to continue her health and hoping that she doesn't, hoping to keep up with the diet and the medication until we know more about the treatment options in the future, just so that she doesn't know any of the side effects of her condition, because so far she doesn't have any of the side effects from her condition as a result of following the diet, the medications, and those things.
Mm. Reflecting on your journey over the past 5 years, what do you feel a child with?
I feel like our connection just keeps getting worse.
On your journey over the past 5 or 6 years now, what do you feel?
I didn't hear that last part. After reflecting on the journey, what do I feel is the most?
What rewarding part of
Probably seeing how, like I was stating earlier, just following doctors' recommendations and all the support groups, just seeing how Rileigh is currently thriving. She's doing well in school. She's an active child. Um, Knowing that I'm following everything that the doctors recommended, I feel like that's been the most rewarding thus far, is just seeing her, be a little 6-year-old, just your typical little 6-year-old. Other than the diet, she's just your typical 6-year-old.
What would you say to the parents? Scared and overwhelmed, you did in the
What would
beginning.
I say to the parents that are just now finding out that they have this condition,
Who
who are scared? Yeah.
yeah. What do you do? What would you say to the in the beginning?
I'd say in the end, everything is going to be okay. Just trust and have faith. But everything's going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. And your child is just, it's going to be healthy and experience life. They're going to experience life just the same. Maybe the diet is going to be a little bit trickier, but they end up being wonderful.
And HCU in your community, and what changes would you like to see in healthcare, in public setting and public understanding?
I think just spreading more awareness, and even myself having a daughter with homocystinuria. Um, it's like on Facebook, I have her little picture with the little blue ribbon as support. I have also made posts, in short, a simple description of her condition. I feel like if you have a child with that, I think it's very important for us to spread awareness, because so many people, especially with rare conditions, they don't know that a lot of these conditions even exist unless we put it out there and we talk about it and we spread the awareness. So I just feel like it's up to us parents to do that, and we talk about it. So.
Mm-hmm. So, is there anything special that you do for HCU Awareness Month?
Not so far. I feel like having this conversation with you is a start of me trying to be more proactive with spreading awareness.
Right. Sometimes people do things with schools also, so it's she's still pretty new to school.
Yeah. We're getting there. Like I said, I'm learning to. I'm learning as well on just having this conversation with you on how to spread more awareness and just putting myself out there.
Yep, and it's pretty much a learning battle. You
Yeah.
never.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most misunderstood aspect of classical homocystinuria that you'd like people to know?
the most misunderstood about it would be probably the diet. It seems very hard, and like if I talk about the strict diet, so many people, they're just like, oh, that has to be really hard. But it really hasn't been hard for us. Like I said in the very beginning, it was, but it's such a normal. We know what Rileigh can eat. We know what her tolerance is because of her blood work that she takes in her blood work. That's how we know how she's doing. Um, I feel like we miss for our kids like something that we had, but they don't, especially if you found out that you had this condition from birth. Rileigh doesn't miss things that the other kids are used to eating. She loves her fruits and vegetables. She loves, so I feel like the biggest misconception is that people feel bad for her or a child with HCU because they don't get to eat chicken nuggets or something like that. But Rileigh's never had a chicken nugget. She doesn't know what it tastes like, and she loves her fruits and veggies. So, so I feel like that's probably the biggest one. You know,
Tweaks. So
yeah,
you've tried the Cambrook tweaks.
yeah. I haven't tried those. I'll have to try it.
They're not exactly the same, but it's close.
Yeah.
But I know
Yeah, where I live, we're not close to like a Whole Foods, so we don't always get those options, the Dr. Prager's, unless I can order it online, which is kind of hard to do in our area.
I think Trader Joe's has them too.
I know, we don't have a Trader Joe's or Whole Foods here.
Oh.
I have to drive to Columbus. It's about a 2.5 hour drive.
Yeah, when you mentioned the cookie butter, I thought you got to have a Trader Joe's near.
Yeah, no, we get that from good old Walmart. We do have an Aldi's. Aldi's sometimes will carry some good, yeah.
So all
That's what I heard. Yeah.
So and I lost her again. Let's see. Hopefully I don't lose her too long. And
Yeah.
there you are.
The connection has been bad. Living like rock stars. I feel like just we've taken this condition, and
and you
we're just still living. She's living. We're living life to its fullest. We're sticking to the diet, sticking to the medication, but we're just still living life. We're not letting this, depress her, depress us. So living like a rock star just means we're still living life to the fullest and just, raising a happy child because that's what we want to do. And we don't want her to feel like she's held back by her condition.
or families listening who might you'd like to share with other parents or families.
Um, I'd say just take one day at a time, and everything's going to be okay. Just stick to the diet. Make sure you have good support groups. That's the biggest thing. Um, and just take one day at a time. Don't think too much in the future, because you will drive yourself crazy on just always wondering what the future is going to be like. I just really think that just live it day by day and just love your little one, and everything's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Thank you so much, Denise, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Sorry our connection wasn't that great at times.
Insights will certainly be helpful in similar situations, and appreciate your time, and
Thank you.
connect with to connect videos and that are perfect for families.
Yeah.
To this podcast, Reconnection. Up yet. And so, but it does tend to be better than the than the live version sometimes, because
Gotcha.
my part, if there's a problem, it's the other person's problem.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, prefer to give, if you are listening to the audio version, I'd love to forget to visit direction.org, the website, to learn about our mission. We have as well if you are, and if you are passionate, you have one board member that draws. At you, or if you or someone you know is struggling, feeling overwhelmed, and you are not alone. The suicide crisis lifeline is available 24/7. Just call text line by texting 741-741. Please don't hesitate. You can, and I look forward to connecting with you all on the next.